organized for the Olympic Games in Berlin in 1936, which were opened by Hitler. So therefore this zoological gardens, they had founded German Empire inside the mirror room of Versailles. And then they said, well, now that we are an empire, we should have a similar street like the Champs-Élysées in Paris. So we'll see the church from the other side. There in front of the altar room, you are also going to see some candles commemorating the victims of a horrible terror attack which hit Berlin in Christmas 2016, when a terrorist crashed a truck into a Christmas market. So that happened here on this side of the church. Since that time, bring the mobile concrete blocks there so that no heavier car can crash into the square again. So on the right hand side, that's the commemoration site for the terror attack in front of the altar room. So and also from here we see grenade and bullet holes on the church's facade, while when we move forward on the left hand side we are going to see a beautiful red colored entrance gate to the Berlin Zoological Garden, and that entrance gate is named Elephant Gate. It looks rather Chinese than German. It was a kind of teaser for the visitors of the zoo. As exotic as this architecture is for Berlin, Elephant Gate of the Berlin Zoological Garden. Next to it is the Berlin Aquarium, attached to the zoo, added in 1913. And currently the Chinese architecture is even more appropriate, because we have a panda bear couple here at the Berlin Zoological Garden on loan from China. And you know how much Berlin? And then on the left hand side you see the embassy of the Republic of Korea, South Korea. This country still is divided by a horrible border, by a horrible wall built up by the communist north, like here in Germany. A wall was built by the communist east, dividing the people until 1989. Right inside we have the Nordic embassies. The Scandinavian countries built their embassies together on this compound. And here on the left hand side you see the Tiergarten Park with the beautiful autumn colors: red, brown, green, yellow. That's the autumn of Berlin. And in roughly a month you will see beautiful red sandstone architecture here in Berlin. While on the right hand side we see the embassy of Saudi Arabia.
Where is India?
And their neighbor is a Roman Catholic high school. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? So on the right, a high school, a college run by Jesuit monks.
India?
And then follows the European ally of Hitler, Italy, also built by a German architect. Here on the right. So that was Mussolini's Italy at that time. And then we are close to your embassy. Your neighbors are Turkey, South Africa and Austria. And you can see already the beautiful red sandstone, like the Red Fort of India and other public buildings in India. Beautiful material, very unique here for Berlin. Look to the right, the embassy of India. And just across your embassy on the left is a famous musician, Richard Wagner. On the left, the sculpture just across from your embassy on the right. And your neighbor, first neighbor, is here on the right hand side, Baden-Württemberg. That's a German federal state where Mercedes is produced. And on the right follows the Austrian embassy in Germany. And the street to the right is called Stauffenbergstraße. There a famous colonel had his office, a colonel who tried to assassinate Hitler with a bomb. That whole story was depicted by the American actor Tom Cruise in his movie Valk. It was built in that tent-like structure to create an excellent acoustic inside. While further down the road we see half of the Potsdamer Platz compound, the latest developed city center with the Sony Center. That's the glass and steel buildings you see further down the road on the right, with a volcano-like roof construction in the center of the plaza. So all these new houses were built in the middle of nothing, where once the Berlin Wall was cutting through the city. It was deserted. Usually the stops will be between 10 minutes, or between 15 minutes and half an hour. So when we give you the time when we expect you back, please make sure you are back. Secondly, wherever we step out, especially at the Brandenburg Gate, Checkpoint Charlie and the wall, there might be pickpockets. So don't forget to put your valuables in a place where they not can be easily snatched. Should you encounter Romanian boys and girls, don't give money to them. They will ask you if you speak English, then they will ask you for money. Don't give money to them because it's a scam. On the right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we find this huge memorial, and this memorial is called the Memorial for the Murdered Jews of Europe, also called the Holocaust Memorial. It's commemorating the mass murder of all evil. So that's why the Germans later on, up to 2005, built this huge memorial to remind themselves of that horrible crime, and where the exclusion of ethnic, religious, political groups can lead into that kind of mass murder.
Mass murder.
So straight ahead we find the Brandenburg Gate. We will see that later on. Obviously. And the gate was built up to 1791 in times of the Royal Prussia, and then it was a city gate, the entrance to Berlin, while in the background you see the huge Reichstag. We go straight ahead, George. Front of the Reichstag. Yeah, and then we make a little stop, 10 minutes. So
Uganda.
On the left hand side we see the Reichstag Parliament. The German Parliament was built up to 1895. You see it right in front of us. So in the times of the Empire, then it became a real parliament after German Revolution in 1918. Then the parliament had the full rights of a parliament in a democracy, but it saw the rise of Hitler's party. Hitler used the fire of the building in 1933 to set aside constitutional rights, to set up his dictatorship, and led Germany later on in 1931. So the politics. So on the right, the German Parliament, and we find the parking further down the street. Then we will go to the right-hand lawn. The building with a half-round window front there, that is the Chancellery of Germany. That's where the Prime Minister has her office. And the white building in the background has more office space for the committees and for the parliamentarians. Okay, so here we have our parking. Local time